Cities never sleep, they say. But at 2 a.m. in Eldo Hollow, the silence proved otherwise. Rain fell soft and steady, turning empty streets into black mirrors under dying streetlights. Lena pulled her thin coat tighter, flour still dusted on her sleeves, the smell of bread clinging to her skin. The late shift at the bakery had run long again. Buses cost money she didn't have, so she walked. A Shern Park stretched before her, trees dripping, benches abandoned to the night. Most were empty. One was not. He sat motionless, suit soaked through, rain streaming down his face like tears he'd forgotten how to shed. His eyes were fixed on nothing. He looked like a man who'd stopped fighting whatever was drowning him. Lena's instinct screamed to keep walking. But pain has a presence and has filled the air like smoke. She stopped, turned back, approached slowly. "I have a second cup," she said quietly, placing lukewarm coffee beside him. "It's not warm anymore, but it's better than nothing." No response. Just rain drumming on the bench. She turned to leave. "I didn't think strangers remembered how to care." His voice was raw, unused, breaking. Lena didn't stop walking. She didn't look back. "Strangers don't owe you anything," she said softly. "That's why it means something when they do." She disappeared into the dark. Behind her, his hand reached slowly for the cup. His eyes lifted from the ground for the first time that night. Morning came gray and dripping. The cafe where Lena worked flickered to life at 6 a.m., same as always. She was wiping down the counter when the door swung open. Wind rushed in. The bell chimed. She looked up. It was him. Gone was the drowning man in the soaked suit. He wore a faded shirt and jeans scuffed at the knees. His hair was still damp. His eyes red, but alert, sober. Something new lived in them now, a quiet steadiness, like someone learning to stand again. "My name's Leo," he said, voice low and rough. "I'm looking for work. Anything. I don't mind getting my hands dirty." Mr. Calder, the owner, barely glanced up. No ID, no address, no job. Leo nodded once, slowly. His knuckles went white around the strap of his canvas bag. Lena recognized that look. She'd worn it once, arriving in Eldo Hollow with 2 crumpled bills and an eviction notice. "He's got nothing," she said quietly. "So he'll work twice as hard as someone who's had everything." Calder studied them both. A long pause. "Trial. 1 week. No pay." Leo bowed his head. "Thank you." Days passed in silence and rain. Leo scrubbed floors, hauled trash, cleaned dishes until his hands were raw. He never complained. But once, when a customer snapped at Lena for mixing up an order, Leo froze. His hand twitched toward his back pocket, reaching for a card that wasn't there anymore. A reflex. A memory of solving problems with money. Then he caught himself. Lowered his hand. Grabbed a rag. Wiped the table. Something inside him either fractured or began to mend. One late night, rain whispering against windows, Lena sat in the back kitchen, body sinking from exhaustion. Leo passed by, paused, came back. He placed warm ginger water beside her and sat down without a word. Silence settled comfortably between them. "You wash dishes?" she murmured. Leo stared at the candle flickering between them. "Because I'm not as clean as I used to be." She didn't respond. She understood too well. "My mom died when I was 13, she said softly. Dad left the next year. I learned early not to expect kindness, not to trust it when it came." Leo looked at her. Really looked. I used to think I couldn't be touched. I had everything. Every door opened. Paused. But the one thing that destroyed me wasn't business. It was her. The woman I thought I'd marry. Lena almost asked more. Something told her not to. "Did you ever want to just disappear?" she asked instead. "Every day," Leo whispered, "until someone handed me a cold cup of coffee in the rain. They didn't ask why I was broken. Didn't try to fix it. They just left it there, warm. They sat in the soft hush where ginger mingled with the faint memory of rain. The silence between them wasn't empty. It was comfortable. 2 weeks passed like water over stone. Slow, and reshaping. Inside the worn cafe, tucked between alleyways of Eldo Hollow, something small had changed. Not loudly, not all at once, just enough to soften the edges. Lena and Leo became shadows in the same rhythm, moving around each other gently, never colliding. It's always near. Most saw Leo as just the quiet man in the back. But Lena saw more. She noticed how he folded dish towels into perfect thirds, how he always kept a half step behind when they passed in tight spaces, how a cup of mint tea, exactly how she liked it, waited before each shift without fail, without question. And Leo noticed the way she hummed softly while restocking sugar jars, the way her hands paused before turning on the morning lights, the way she left the crust off her sandwich on slow days just in case he was hungry. They rarely spoke. They didn't need to. One dusky evening, rain came sudden and soft. Lena had forgotten her coat. She paused at the door, only to find it already there. Folded neatly beside a worn shirt, she looked up. Leo stood by the entrance, umbrella in hand, head tilted slightly.
"Hey, let's go,"
he said, as if it had always been the plan. The umbrella was too small, so they stood close. Her shoulder brushed the fabric of his shirt. She could hear the rain, yes, but also his breathing, slow and steady, matching hers. She wished the walk home would never end. Whatever existed between them had no name. No one said need, but it lived in every quiet moment, every unspoken act of care. It flowed between them like a hidden stream under stone, invisible but impossible to ignore. Then on a Saturday, sunlight spilling through cafe windows, golden and careless, it began to crack. The place was buzzing. Laughter, coffee grinding, the clatter of heels across stone tiles. A group of well-dressed women entered. Their handbags gleamed. Their smiles flickered with something too polished to be real. Lena greeted them with her usual calm. Behind the counter, Leo had gone still. He turned slightly, just enough to hide his face. One of the women, blonde with curled hair and lips painted like blood, squinted. She leaned in, whispering with a sharpness that sliced through the noise. "My God, doesn't that look like Liam Carter?" Another woman leaned closer. "No way. The one who got left at the altar?" The blonde's fingers flew across her phone screen. One photo. One line. Heartbroken heir turned barista. And just like that, the city devoured him again. Within minutes, the post spread like fire in dry grass. Mentions, comments, confirmations. Lena turned, confused. As whispers rippled through the cafe, Leo's face had gone white. "Lena," he started, voice breaking, "I need to tell you something." But before he could finish, the door burst open. A woman in a cream silk dress stood framed in sunlight. Stunning, cold, familiar.
"Hello."
"Liam," she said, voice honey and venom. "Miss me." The cafe went silent. Victoria stood in the doorway like a ghost made flesh. Her dress caught the light just so. Her smile was a weapon she'd sharpened for years. "Liam," she repeated, stepping inside. "Or should I call you Leo now?" How quaint. Leo's jaw tightened. "What do you want?" To see if the rumors were true. Her eyes scanned the cafe with barely concealed disgust before landing on Lena. "And who's this? Your new charity project?" Lena felt ice crawl up her spine. "Lee," Leo said, voice low and dangerous. Now, Victoria laughed, the sound like breaking glass. "You don't get to dismiss me. Not after what you put me through, what I put you through." Leo's voice cracked. "You left me at the altar. In front of 300 people. You took everything." "I took what was mine," Victoria hissed. "The prenup your father made me sign was worthless once you became a joke. You think I wanted to marry a man too weak to fight for himself?" Lena stepped forward. "He asked you to leave." Victoria's gaze turned predatory. "And you are?" "Someone who actually cares about him." "How noble." Victoria's smile sharpened. "Did he tell you about the money? The company? The inheritance he walked away from because he couldn't handle a little embarrassment?" "That's not what happened," Leo said. No. Victoria pulled out her phone. Then why don't we ask the internet? She tapped the screen. Already trending. Fallen heir found. By tomorrow, every vulture in this city will be circling. They'll want interviews, photos. They'll want to know why Liam Carter, son of the Carter fortune, is washing dishes in a place like this. She turned to Lena. And they'll want to know about you. Your past, your family, everything. Lena's blood went cold. Victoria leaned in. I can make this go away. One call. But Liam comes with me. Back where he belongs. Where he can actually be somebody. I'd rather be nobody, Leo said. How romantic. Victoria's voice dripped poison. But what about her? Can she handle it? The cameras. The questions? The scrutiny. She paused. Or maybe there's something in her past she doesn't want found. Lena's hands trembled. Victoria had somehow already known. About the arrest that wasn't her fault. The sealed juvenile record. The reason she'd run to Eldo Hollow in the first place. Leave her out of this, Leo said, stepping between them. Victoria smiled. Too late. I already made the call. By tonight, every news outlet will be digging. Unless you come with me right now. Sign the settlement. Disappear quietly. And I'll bury it all. Leo looked at Lena. Their eyes met. Don't, Lena whispered. Don't do this for me. I have to. No, you don't. I can handle whatever comes. I won't let you burn because of me. His voice broke. Not you. He turned to Victoria. I'll go. But you leave her alone. Completely. Victoria's smile was triumphant. Deal. Leo grabbed his coat. As he walked toward the door, he stopped beside Lena one last time. Sorry, he whispered. For all of it. For not telling you the truth. For not being strong enough to stay. You were always strong enough, Lena said, tears streaming down her face. You just never believed it. He touched her hand once, brief, burning. Then he walked out with Victoria into the harsh sunlight. The door closed. Lena stood alone in the sudden silence, surrounded by whispers and phone cameras, feeling like she'd just lost something she never really had, but somehow always needed. Outside, Leo climbed into Victoria's car. She smiled as the engine purred to life. Smart choice. Leo stared out the window at the cafe growing smaller. If you touch her, if you so much as breathe near her, I'll destroy everything you've built. I still have friends in this city. People who owe me favors. Victoria's smile faltered. You wouldn't try me. The car pulled away. Back in the cafe, Lena picked up the dish towel Leo had folded into perfect thirds that morning. She held it against her chest and let herself break where no one could see. She didn't know that in 3 hours, Leo would walk out of Victoria's penthouse with signed papers and a plan, or that he'd left something behind for her. Something that would change everything. 3 days passed like wounds opening slow. Lena worked her shifts in numb silence. The whispers followed her everywhere. Customers stared. Some pitied. Some judged. Most just wanted the story. She gave them nothing. On the 4th morning, Mr. Calder handed her an envelope. This came for you. Courier. Inside was a key and a note in handwriting she recognized. I signed everything away. The money. The name. The inheritance. It's all hers now. I'm free. But I'm not done fighting. There's an apartment. Paid for a year. It's yours if you want it. No strings. No cameras. Just a place where you can breathe. I understand if you never want to see me again. I lied by not telling you who I was. I was a coward, but I need you to know that coffee in the rain saved my life. In every quiet moment after, you taught me what it means to be human again. If you can forgive me, I'll be at Ashorn Park tonight. 2 a.m. where it started? If not, I'll understand. Leolina stared at the note until the words blurred. That night, rain fell again. Soft, persistent. The kind that seeps into everything. She walked to Ashorn Park. Coat too thin, heart too full. The bench was empty. She sat down. Setting a cup of coffee beside her, still warm this time, she waited. At 2:15, she heard footsteps. Leo peered through the trees, soaked again, just like the first night. But this time, his eyes weren't drowning. They were searching. He saw her. Stopped. "You came," he said, voice raw. "I almost didn't. I wouldn't blame you." Lena stood slowly. "You gave up everything for me. Why? Because you gave me something worth more." He stepped closer. "You saw me when I was nothing, when I had nothing, and you didn't turn away." "You weren't nothing, Leo. You were just lost." "I'm still lost." His voice cracked. "But I'd rather be lost with you than found with anyone else." Rain fell between them. Around them. Through them. "Victoria's lawyers called," Lena said quietly. "She's gone. Took the settlement and left the country. Said you signed over everything, including dirt she had on both of us." "It's buried." Leo nodded. "I meant what I wrote. I'm free now. No money. Nothing but this." He pulled out a folded piece of paper. "I got hired at a construction site. Day labor. It's honest work? In the apartment? The last thing I could do before it all went away. I wanted you to have something stable. Something safe. You deserved that much." Lena's throat tightened. "You're an idiot, I know. You threw away a fortune, I know." "For me? For us," he corrected. "If there is an us." Lena picked up the coffee cup, held it out to him. "It's warm this time," she said softly. "And I'm not walking away." Leo took the cup. His hand shook. "I don't have anything to offer you," he whispered. "No money. No security. It's just me. Broken. Starting over. Learning how to be someone worth knowing. Then we'll learn together." Lena stepped closer. "I don't need you to be Liam Carter, heir to millions. I just need you to be Leo, the man who folds dish towels into perfect thirds. The man who makes ginger water when I'm tired. The man who saw me too." Set the cup down and pulled her close. They stood in the rain, holding each other like they were the only solid things in a world that kept trying to wash them away. "I love you," Leo said against her hair. "I don't know when it happened. Maybe that first night. Maybe every night after. But I love you." "I know," Lena whispered. "I've known for a while." They stayed there until the rain stopped. Until the first hint of dawn crept through the trees. Until the city began to wake and the world started moving again. When they finally pulled apart, Leo laced his fingers through hers. "Where do we go from here?" he asked. Lena smiled, small but real. "Forward. Together. One quiet moment at a time." They walked out of a shorn park as the sun broke through the clouds. Two people who'd been invisible in the rain, now choosing to be seen, to be found, to be human together. Behind them, the bench sat empty once more. Coffee cup still there, faintly steaming. One last trace of warmth in a city that had finally learned to notice kindness. And somewhere in the worn cafe between alleyways, Mr. Calder flipped the sign to open, humming softly. Already brewing 2 cups of mint tea for the morning shift that would start in an hour. Some love stories. Burn bright and fast. Others simmer slow. Built on nothing but cold coffee and shared silence. And sometimes, the most profound connections are forged not in the light, but in the rain-soaked dark. Between 2 broken people who chose to be kind when the world had given them every reason not to be. The end.